Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In the last video, I have talked about while loop and we use while loop when we want to repeat the statement multiple times. In while loop, the number of iteration depends on the condition, but for loop is quite different. For loop in Python is used to iterate over a sequence, for example, list, tuple, string, or any other iterable objects, and iterating over a sequence is called traversal. Now let's see the flowchart of the for loop. So for each item in the sequence, first it will check the condition whether it is the last element or not. If not, then it will execute the body of for loop. So the loop continues until we reach the last item in the sequence. Now let's see the syntax of for loop. So first we write the for value in sequence. Here value is the variable that takes the value of the item inside the sequence on each iteration. The body of the for loop is separated from the rest of the code using the indentation. Let's see an example and understand it in detail. First, I want to iterate over a list. So it's very simple. First, I need to define a list here. So I will write list1 equals to brackets, give some random values. I will also give a string here. I will write Python, a floating point number. That's it. Now to iterate over this list, we have to use for loop. So I will write for. Here I will use the variable val here. Then in list1 colon indentation and print. I want to print the value. That's it. Execute it. Here we got the output. Now let's write a program to add all the values of the list. So here I will just remove this and I will write list1 equals to, give some random values. That's it. Here I will initialize a variable to store the sum. So here I will write result equals to 0. Now I will iterate over the sequence. So value in list1. I want to add each value to the result here. So result plus equals to value. And at the end of this loop, I want to print the sum. Execute it. And here we got the output 319. So instead of initializing the list, I can simply write the list in the for loop. I will just copy paste it. That's it. Remove this. Execute it. And here we got the same output, that is 319. But what if I want to print a statement multiple times using for loop? Then we can use the range function here. So we can generate a sequence of number using range function. For example, range 10 will generate a number from 0 to 9. We can also define the start, stop and step size. So here I will just remove this. I will write for I in, I will write the range function here. I want to print 10 times. Remember, if we don't define the step size, the default step size will be 1. Then I will print coding alpha here. That's it. Execute it. And we got the output coding alpha 10 times. Now I will define the start, stop and step size here. So here I want to start from 1. I want to go till 10. And here I want the step size of 2. That's it. Execute it. And we got the output coding alpha 5 times here. Remember that this range function does not store all the values in the memory because it would be inefficient to store all the values. So it remembers the start, stop and step size and generates the next number on the go. Now to force this function to output all the items, we can use the function list here. So let's say an example. Here I will write print range of 10. Then I will write print list of range of 10. Let's see the output. So here you can see that when we are printing the range function, only this value is printing. But when we are using the list function, it is storing all the values to this list. I will also write print list of range, give the start number 1, 10, and step size of 2, execute it, and here you can see that we got the list. Now we can also use range function in the for loop to iterate through a sequence of numbers, and it can also be combined with length function to iterate through a sequence using indexing. So first I will define a list here, 59, 34, 56, 10. Then I will write for I in, here I'm using range function. Here I'm using indexing, that's why I want the length of the list. List1 print. Remember that here I is storing the index number of the list, that is from 0 to length of this list, which is 4 in this case. So I will write print list1. I want the index number here, so I will write I. That's it. Execute it. And here we got the output. A for loop can have an optional else block as well. The else block in a for loop specifies the block of code to be executed when the loop is finished. So here I will write else print no items left. That's it. Execute it, and we got the output. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something new and do try these codes by yourself. See you in the next video.